82. There's another type of arrogant person. Speaking with various types of arrogant people. The arrogance or the haughtiness is buried deep in their heart. Lo yotziu el hamaseh. They never display it. Avol yachshvu b'levovom, but they feel within themselves. Feel that shekvar heim chacham gedolim. They're wiser than most. Shiyodi advarim lamitom. They know things. They grasp things with absolute clarity. Lo shlo rabim yechmu kamon. Nobody's going to be as smart as they are. They are the smartest. Therefore, they don't heed they don't listen to anybody else. What they understand based on their grasp, it's so clear, so simple. They pay no attention to those who disagree with it. That's that level of arrogance. They're so fixed in their position, they will not change in any circumstance. Why? Because they believe that their understanding is definitely correct, because they understand better than anyone else. Right? You find this. People don't take advice. Why don't people take advice? They're just stubborn because they believe they're right. Maybe you should listen. I'll tell you some of my reshivas if you want to use it. Rishiva says, the Mishnah says in Sanhedrin that why did God create people with different faces? Usually, if you create a die and you stamp out a coin, every coin is identical to the other coin. But yet, there are no two human beings who have the exact same face. There's slight differences in their facial feature. Why? So the Mishnah says, just as people's facial features are not identical to one to another, identically, their positions, their perspectives are not identical. Everybody has a slightly different perspective. The nuances of difference. So what indicates that? Because just as the face is different, slightly different, not identical, with the word, ponim is panim, right? It's very good because the face reveals what's within the person. No panim, panim means internal. It reveals that. So the slight difference says internal. It's also slightly different. Therefore, what? And I do know that it's different. It's not don't know it's different. So we used to say, just as nobody could say he has the perfect facial feature. Nobody could say that. So therefore, as a result of that, even though you take on a position, you still have to listen to the other person. Unless the person's totally off. But if the person disagrees or presents another position, you have to take it. You have to take it into consideration. Because you never know, maybe by hearing what the other person says, that will cause you to understand what your position differently. Or to realize it's not 100% correct. Go ahead.
So if there is a group of people that will have a guideline, but they think that the guideline, is their facial expression is identical on this specific area?
No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean. It's just to alert you that no two people are coming from the same vantage point. And therefore, but they may be correct. See, we're talking about after hearing everything, you reject what they say. You have a right to reject it. But the question, why are you rejecting it? Is because you think you're the ultimate? Or you reject them because you really understand that they're not right? I'll give you an example. Machlokes Beisham Beis Hillel. It's Elu Vel Divrei Elokim Chaim. Neither could find a fallacy in the logic of the other one. It's just a question of who's more right. Right? Two people are logical, and they present cogent, compelling positions. Now there's a question of who's more right. That's the question. Only one of them is right. And they all conform. There's nothing is contrary to any of the interpretations of the Torah, meaning the methodology to interpret the Torah. But who's more right? That's the question. So each one rejected the other not because of arrogance. Not because of arrogance. Even though the Gemara does say it's not arrogance. The Gemara says, why is the halacha Beis Hillel? Because they were anovim. Because they had greater humility. So because they had greater humility, even though Beis Shammai is Harifi, the Gemara says they had the minds, they had much keener minds, they were greater geniuses. Beis Shammai, they had greater geniuses, but nevertheless, the difference didn't make that difference. Right? It's like, a high school kid disagrees with Einstein in his theory of relativity. There's nothing to talk about. He's not going to waste his time with the kid, even though he may be an A student. He's not going to pay attention. When you reach a zero level, then we'll discuss it. Shiv Zechariah Rochel, when he was 14 years old, so he was. It was the summer. It was right at the beginning of World War I. People were starving to death. Literally, there was nothing to eat in Russia, Lithuania. So Reb Chaim Brisker was in a certain summer location, and Rashi was 14 years old. And Reb Chaim said a shir, and he quoted a Gemara. And Rashi was 14 years old. Listen to Reb Chaim Brisker, he was the Gadol Ador, and he quoted a Gemara. And all of a sudden, Rashi, a 14-year-old kid, pipes up, and he says, "It's not the daf that Reb Chaim said; it's a different daf." Reb Chaim was taken aback, and everyone was taken aback. He criticizing, disagreeing with Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim says it's Yudalit, it's Yudalit, it's not Tezvav, or whatever the page was. So Reb Chaim says immediately, "Bring a Gemara. Bring the text. We're going to check." Turned out my Rashi was right when he was 14 years old. They checked it out. He was right. Reb Chaim was one blot off. Because of that, Reb Chaim was so impressed. Reb Chaim had some wealthy people who were his backers. And he made sure that this person should support Mar Shiva for a year during this time of starvation. So he had food. He was able to get a new suit of clothing, which everybody else was walking around, had rags, literally. But he was because of this. But on the average, you're going to pay attention to a child or to a person who has no background. Mr. Glick told me a story that he went the first time he met Rav Aaron Kotler, and Rav Aaron was a level of genius. If you read any of his story, he was like fire. Rav Aaron Kotler. When he said something, it was like you'd see the sun shining, a bright day if you understood what he was talking about. And it was about a certain position on something. Louis, smart guy, like it says, nobody sells diamonds the way Louis Glick sells diamonds. So he thought he could disagree with Rav Aaron. So he goes and he presents his case to Rav Aaron, and with all his enthusiasm, and Rav Aaron says, "Your position is not valid." Presents it again. After Rav Aaron said he was wasting his time, turned away, just walked away from it. Louis only years later understood that he was wrong and Rav Aaron was right. But when you're a young person, you think, if you could do that deal and you're worth so much, you're God's gift to humanity. So I become an expert in religion too. I tell the rabbi what to do. I'll tell the rabbi how to run this congregation. Rabbi, you should have spoken about another topic. That topic wasn't really sensitive enough. Why? How do you know? Oh, could you do a Wall Street deal? What I could do was one thing to do another. Once you feel you're there, it's across the board. There's nothing you're not an expert in. To be continued. That's why money changes people. Wealth changes people. Because they believe even though today everything's relative, what's wealth? But one time, very few people were wealthy. So those who are wealthy, they believe they're a different echelon. And they have an ability and an understanding that nobody has. And of course, brings out a tremendous degree of arrogance. Because that's the confirmation. Today, you have more, therefore what? And I could also drive the same car you drive. But you have endless money, therefore what? You're going to eat it, you're going to take it to the grave with you, therefore what? So you own another building and another. Okay, therefore what? I don't need you, thank God, and therefore what? So therefore, it's to a degree, it's less today. the arrogance at one time of a person who was wealthy. That's a lesser degree of arrogance. What? Okay.
Million has a number.
No, arrogance is frowned upon.
What?
I said arrogance is frowned upon.
But that's false humility. You got it? That humility, it's frowned upon, but those people, that's false humility. You understand? That's the reason why it's frowned upon, because those people, if you step on their toes, they're gonna let you know about it. But if you're so humble, just turn away, say it's okay. So they pick and choose where they should be humble, not be humble. Okay. We left off on Lamed Beis and Med Beis.